Hey, this is Cassandra Williams from Educational Innovation 360. This is Coaching Conversations. Today we're going to talk about the playbook. I like to put out a playbook every year to talk about the best practices and kind of some of the trends. So here we go. Let's get started. I like to say you have to start the year off for success. So setting the stage is the first thing that we must do as instructional coaches. Begin the year by stressing the importance of pretty much aligning and reflecting on kind of the organization's missions and goals. Being able to take your SMART goals, of course, specific, measurable, achievable, time relevant, and time bound, and then what is your coaching objective for the year. And I love to highlight onboarding. Onboarding pretty much sets the tone and creates that first impression and gives that accountability for the year. So the first impressions matter. So what are you doing on day one, and how are you aligning your goals with the organization, their mission? Building strong relationships is the key to a great coach. Talking about creating that safety net through empathy and just being vulnerable. This builds trust with any coaching client that you have. So really being able to think about trust. What are the one conversations? How are we going to tackle their goals using SMART goals? And then what are the feedback loops? Because many times in our coaching space, we kind of struggle with this. We coach one way and think that this is the way when there's multiple ways to support teachers. And also thinking like it's a two-way street. So not only am I learning and growing, I am also supporting them in their journey. Now, I've worked with coaches on this, and that has been a struggle, is how are you embracing the new tools? With AI, there's so many things going on. So thinking of how are you embracing your digital tools, whether you have AI recommendations, AI synchronous on your bi-weekly meetings to get an update on what's going on, whether it's some type of virtual coaching session that you have changed the game. So it kind of shifts that power from just being one-on-one to just hybrid, maybe virtual, maybe you're flexible. It lets your teachers know that you're still learning, you're still continuing to grow. And we know that it's also about the human connection. So sometimes automation does free you up to have a deeper connection with your teachers. So thinking about these four opportunities to embrace technology and to support your teachers. Now, I like to say that this is a priority, but what I see in most coaching sessions when I'm working with coaches is well-being and inclusion are kind of add-ons. And when we think about these crucial elements, they are not add-ons. When we're walking through trauma-informed mental health services and sensitive practice, thinking about how we're sharing our strategies, where we're promoting mindfulness, and then we're working on just resilience in the classroom and being able to work through stress. And then how do we touch on the DEI integrations with toxic spaces that we have, with the Orange Band, really thinking about how do we address identity and equity issues in our classrooms so students feel not only safe, but supported and loved. So these are the big buckets that I kind of feel that sometimes are used as add-ons, but need to be full front in our coaching space. So thinking about our mental health, what is DEI? Are you resilient? And then what does a professional collaboration look like with professionalized support for your teachers? So let me be honest, sometimes with AI and automated responses, things are not as personalized as we would like them to be. So really think about how are you personalize that conversation with your teachers? So how are we encouraging the use of assessments to understand learning styles, to understand emotional intelligence and specific goals? What are we doing to kind of emerge methods like kind of that micro coaching, that just in time, maybe that peer mentorship, maybe we're supporting them with other teachers. And it is our responsibility to kind of adapt to these strategies and not conform to kind of one model. I find myself either debriefing with the teacher, sometimes in the hall, debriefing with the teacher, sometimes, during a quick break. And so how do we continuously grow and to continuously group? Sometimes there's coaching groups, or sometimes it's PLCs where we're debriefing or talking about the general things that we're seeing in the classrooms. So really thinking about how coaching happens in multiple forms, and it's up to you to be able to identify some of the supports that you need for your teachers. I like to say when we talk about professional development and compliance, we have to begin with what is our personal reflection. Even after 25 years, I still learn something new all the time. So when we're urging other people to stay current, stay relevant in what the current methods are. What does the industry research say? How do we cover compliance? How do we support our teachers to stay under the radar of DEI in this tumultuous times? What do we need to do to update our contacts? Support our teachers through confidentiality with ethical AI, and then what does it look like for our boundaries? And all that while we model this kind of professionalism to where we understand that not only are we growing, our teachers are growing, and everybody is noticing it. I would like to say these are the crucial things right now when we're talking about 2025. So to kind of recap these ideas or points, we constantly continue to inspire your audience, reflecting and reaffirming their purpose and their why. Coaches, we change lives, to be really honest. A coach's influence extends beyond just instruction. It shapes confidence, resilience, and achievement, which is a quote that I love. So really thinking about what are you doing to reflect on your current trends and practices, and then what do you need to do to help your teachers within the school year. So I hope these tips help. This Coaching Conversation by Cassandra. Talk to you later. Bye.